Yo, it's good. It's your man 100 Grand Ross with The Rock Never Stops. Tonight I want to do a video on the Houston Rockets and a recap of their draft because they are one of two teams that I feel had probably the most impressive draft night of all the teams involved in the draft this year. I'm going to dive into that in this video. If you like the video, you know what to do. Please hit the like button, subscribe, the bell for notifications. Definitely appreciate all the support and all the love. The Houston Rockets are a really young, exciting team. Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Alperen Sengun, Usman Garuba, guys like Josh Christopher, Jason Tate, even Kenyon Martin Jr., and even Bruno Fernando as well. I don't want to forget about him, kind of a stretch center. They have a really, really young, talented team. And even though to an extent, I feel bad for head coach Stephen Silas, who was brought in to coach a championship contending team with James Harden and Christian Wood at the core, with Eric Gordon in them. He's now challenged with handling a full rebuild. He's being stretched. He's being officially stretched. He's handling it probably the best that he can, considering that everything changed on a dime for him. But what you can't say is that he doesn't have talent. He doesn't have talent, right? He has that in spades. If you play spades, you understand what that saying means. It means you got a whole bunch of winning pieces, a whole bunch of winning cards to play. And Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr., Alperen Sengun is one hell of a core to be able to start off with when you're rebuilding. But tonight, what the Houston Rockets did in this draft was special. It was beautiful. It was beautiful to watch. They came away with three elite talents that filled a position of need. They're all strong character players, hard workers, but they also fill positions of need. The first one was the most obvious one, Jabari Smith. Jabari Smith, he's somebody that I think his ceiling is going to be somewhat of a healthy Michael Porter Jr. A healthy Michael Porter Jr., which is a beautiful thing. I don't know if he's going to be as aggressive of a shooter, but he's got that type of potential. And he plays defense. I think this is a great partnership when you look at Alperen Sengun, who does most of his work on the interior and facilitating the ball and post-ups. All right, he can stretch to the three-point line and shoot, but having a center or having another front court mate like Jabari Smith, who can absolutely light it up and attack closeouts and get to his spots, is a beautiful addition to this front court. Christian Wood, somewhat. I think this is also a style of play that we could see Jabari Smith take on, but playing much like Christian Wood did, where he scores in transition, pick and roll, but does a lot of his work on the perimeter, either shooting threes or attacking closeouts. Now, I don't think he's going to post up in the way that Christian Wood has been able to, but I think he's a more versatile defender than Christian Wood was. Wood was good at defending the rim, not so much in chasing guys around the perimeter, especially guards and wings. I think Jabari Smith is going to be able to chase some wings, get involved in some switches, and hold his own, right? It's going to be an excellent addition. His scoring instincts, his natural scoring instincts, and we always differentiate the ability to score and natural scoring instincts. That means that there are certain things that he does offensively that come to him in a way where he doesn't have to think about it. How he moves on the basketball court, getting to his spots, coming off of screens, and there's definitely going to be a whole lot of screens they're going to be able to bring him off of, a la Michael Porter Jr. or like a Rashard Lewis. He's going to be able to see his shot, go right into it, or attack off the dribble, and almost like this second nature, which is really important because some guys who have to think about it, it takes a split second off of their window of actually getting their shot off. You see, like a Klay Thompson, he knows how much space he needs. He knows if a defender is too far away, and he will throw that shot up immediately. And the ability to score with those types of instincts and that type of natural inclination and confidence in your game is what separates elite scorers from guys who are role player scorers, guys who can score, anywhere between 10 to 15 points a game. And those natural instincts that gets you to the 18 to 22 plus points per game. And I think that that's where we're going to see him throughout his peak of his career. Is somewhere around that 20, maybe to 24, but I think he's going to settle in around 22 points per game with some really good perimeter defense, interior defense. He's going to get stronger, and he's going to be a great asset for them. The next pick that they had was Tari Eason. I was really, really high on Tari Eason. I loved his game, his physical measurements at 6'8", 7'2" wingspan, plays really physical. He's a bit right hand dominant, but it didn't stop him at any point in time in getting to the rim, finishing at the rim, getting to the basket, attacking off closeouts. He doesn't have the most fluid or quick release when it comes to his 3-point shot, but it's still a solid shot. It's smooth. There's no hitches in it, and he should be able to improve that while in the NBA. Most people know that two of the things that improve the most in the NBA are your shooting and your ball handling, because you have so much time to work on those drills, right? So Tari Eason is going to be able to improve offensively upon his ability to impose his physical will with that size, 215 pounds, playing that forward position with elite athleticism. He also has huge hands, great wingspan. He's going to remind us of that kind of new Kawhi Leonard age forward. I didn't say he's going to be like Kawhi Leonard. I said that Kawhi Leonard age forward. The Patrick Williams, the OG Anunobis, guys who have the physical strength to play power forward, but also the athleticism and agility to be able to play small forward and sometimes even shooting guard, right? Just because of their length, because they can defend that position, right? Tari Eason is in this mold. He's going to be able to defend multiple positions, and I love this acquisition because of his length and size. Now, he's also going to push Kenyon Martin Jr., but I think that this is also a sign that Houston may not be ready or willing to invest in Kenyon Martin Jr. when he becomes a free agent. I believe he's a free agent next season, right? And so we might see him be able to push for minutes. He might start off in the G League a little bit, just to develop and get his I don't want to say confidence, but really kind of acclimate to the speed of the NBA. We'll see during Summer League if he's there yet, but I think he's going to be an excellent addition. The last piece is Tai Tai Washington. And I love this pickup because it wasn't a reach. They didn't grab him where they grabbed Eason. That would have been too high and would have been, a worse grade in terms of their draft. But Tai Tai Washington at the back end of the first round, with his size measurement, 6'4", 6'5", excellent wingspan, can defend multiple positions, both guard positions. But more than anything, it's his basketball IQ that I think Houston can really use at the point guard position. Now, we all know Kevin Porter Jr. is extremely talented, and they have him learning. I think he's going to take another step next year, be that much better with his playmaking. But he's not a natural point guard. And there's a difference. There's a difference between being able to play point and being a natural point guard. Kevin Porter Jr. is someone who can play point guard. Tai Tai Washington is a natural point guard, meaning that he naturally understands what his team is trying to accomplish offensively. He understands who to get the ball when, and his unselfishness is something I think is going to fit in perfectly in this Houston Rockets team. I think he's going to end up being one of those glue type guys, almost in that Tyus Jones mold, where he's able to not just set guys up, but he's also going to be able to lead. He's going to be able to lead because guys are going to look to him and understand that he's trying to make them better. He's trying to make their job easy in the offensive flow. He's not just trying to go out and get his, or he's not trying to figure it out on the fly. He understands when you're coming off the screen where you want it. He understands when you're in the post how to get it to you. He'll understand how to make sure that he gets the right guys the ball to keep them hot and involved. And so I'm really excited to see how he is going to play out as well. And so overall, I think the Houston Rockets get an A+ from me in this draft. I think they get a lot. They got a lot better talent wise with their length and their size because they were a bit small. Jayshawn Tate 6'5", right? Um, and and having guys like Kevin Porter Jr. 6'4", 6'5", Jalen Green 6'4", 6'5", not exactly the biggest, most physical when it comes to what they're doing on the defensive end. But you add these three, you become a far more imposing team in terms of your defensive toughness, athleticism, and length. And so that's going to be a huge addition. Now, the last thing I want to throw out there is it also seems like with these 3 picks, this is a double down on this youth movement, which also positions them to be in the running for Victor something Winyaba, I believe it is. Victor Winyaba, he's from France, about a 7'2", 7'3" forward who has the agility and almost quick step of a guard, of a wing. He's somebody that reminds me far more of a Kevin Durant than a Chet Holmgren does, right? Victor Wembanyama, he's able to play on the perimeter. He's got a great-looking jump shot, but he's also able to post up. He's been one of the more dominant performers just within probably the under 22 talent pool coming out of Europe right now. I mean, his ability to defend the rim, his toughness, his physicality, his athleticism, his agility, his shooting, his ability to put the ball on the floor. He is a true unicorn. He's a true unicorn. Everybody's saying Chet. I don't know about Chet at 195 pounds. I think Victor is already heavier than him, right? And he's a year behind him, right? I think what Victor is going to be able to do in the NBA is going to be special. And if Houston can position themselves to get Victor in the draft next year, yo, oh my goodness, this team is going to be nuts. But with that, I want to hear what you guys think. Well, how do you see this team performing? I definitely see them buying out John Wall. Now they got all these young guys that need playing time. Being able to buy him out means that they're going to hit their draft cap. I'm sorry, not draft, but they're going to hit their salary cap minimum without having a bunch of veterans on this team. All right, and they're going to be able to play these guys, give them heavy minutes, and let them get the experience that they need to prepare themselves to be able to get to those next levels, right? But let me know what you guys think. These 3 draft picks, what do you think Jabari is going to be able to do in year 1? Does he have a Rookie of the Year type campaign opportunity? Tari Eason, Tai Tai Washington, do you think that they're going to get playing time this year? Let me know what you think. I'm going to holler at y'all next time. Peace, Houston.